Okay, hey folks, this training video is going to be about inviting VIPs to your events and building your VIP networking contact list. These are people that are involved in whatever industry, or if you're, let's say if you're in music, people that might have influence over your career, getting you better gigs, better connections, better presentations. And the idea of building relationships with people like that gradually, just one step at a time, so gentle and effortless so that it doesn't seem like spam to them. And in my case, I'm doing a once a month concert series, and it's starting to take off. I've been doing it for a year, so I'm going to use that as a vehicle to invite my VIPs to come to this as a VIP guest, give them front row seating, give them information about it. Once I start that conversation, then a relationship has been started. And if they respond to my email invite, then I can pursue other ways of connecting with them. So I want to get them. My main goal is to get them to actually come and see the magic that's happening. But if that doesn't work out, then I want to try to become Facebook friends with them or get them on my email list so that all that automatic follow-up can happen over there. They're seeing what I'm doing, and the chances of them actually coming to a show and becoming a fan are greater. So what I've done is, right now you're seeing this strings attached VIP networking contact list. I like to keep track of it in a spreadsheet form, and I'll eventually, once I've done enough contacting in here, I'll transfer these over to my main sendpepper.com database. Like if they want to be on the email list, then I'm going to put them in here. But until I get to that point, I'm going to just keep track of over here of what's going on. So you can go to different columns. Facebook friend, that means have they become my Facebook friend or not? Do I have their email address? Do I have their phone? What organization are they part of? Do they have a website or Facebook address? I want to put that here so I can easily go find out what they're doing and the status of whatever connecting I'm doing. So in this example, I'm going to use this little letter here that I've composed. It's in Google Docs. If you're a volunteer working for me, you just have to look up intro letter invite to VIPs. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and if you know these people and you're working for me, it's best to put any kind of tailored information that you have, into the letter to make it more personable, okay? The more personable, the better. So anyway, I'm going to go over to my list here, and it says that I'm Facebook friends with Patrick Cantillo. So I'm going to go over to my Facebook. I have 3 Facebook accounts, by the way, so if you're working for me and you don't find it in one of them, you're going to have to search the other 3, and that's under Google Docs as well. If you go up here and put it in Facebook accounts, I have a little document for that, so you can pull up the passwords to log in. So I'm going up here to Benson. Here we go. This guy right here. And it says that he says friend request sent. So I don't want to, be a pest. So I'm going to wait till I get back from him the friend request. So let me look at another option here. Okay, so just to back up a little bit, what I want to do is I want to make this list as big as possible with as many VIPs in my industry, which in Austin is the music and entertainment industry. So all of these people are on the KUT advisory board. So I'm going to put this down here, but this is last time this has been edited, it's been a couple years. So I'm going to go back to the KUT advisory board over here. I'm going to Google it. So what you can do is you get on Google and you can think of big organizations, big companies that are related to your industry, and go on and find out the key players, put them on your list, make some kind of invite, where you're offering them something that's valuable. In this case, I'm offering them VIP seats at one of my events. So I'm going to look up the KUT. In this case, I put board of directors and came up with this. And just double check, if you're doing this for me, double check that I've got all the current people on it. So what I'll do is Lynn Meredith, I don't think was on that list. Let's look. Yeah, Lynn Meredith is on the list. Okay, but it doesn't look like we're Facebook friends. Lynn Meredith. So I'm going to look her up. There's a couple ways to do this on Facebook. Just put her name right in there. Okay, so we have here Lynn Meredith, Austin, Texas. So I'm going to look at her Facebook and see if there's any reference to KUT. So it looks like she isn't. Michael Barnes is a writer in Austin, so he's another important VIP, FYI. And it's not really clear. If I go under About, I might see something about KUT. Let's look. Work in education. So it looks like this is somebody that might be on the board. Her position here, vice chair, so she'd be very important to get her on there. So I'm going to look at mutual friends and see if anybody who's involved with KUT would be a mutual. Let's see, mutual friends here. Okay, Sarah. I know Sarah Bird. She's a friend of ours. This one's getting a little difficult, so let's look at photos. See if there's any photos of her, like at a KUT function. Alright, movies. I'm looking at her. What is she like? It's really hard to tell if she's actually the one that's on the board. Let's look at one of these pictures here. This is... Alright. Alright, looks like somebody that I might want to just reach out to anyway. I'm not sure if this is the one. Another way to do it is you can actually go to Google and put in quotes the person's name. So, Lynn Meredith. And then Austin, and then KUT. So it's going to have to pull up, because I put quotes. Well, actually, I want to make sure it's Facebook. So to try to find her Facebook. Okay, so I'm finding more information about her. It says, if I look on this, if I look for her picture, Lynn Meredith. Okay, serves Secretary Treasurer, member of Advisory Board of KUT, Austin Children's Museum, member of Lady Bird Johnson Welfare Center. Okay, it's looking like she's probably that one that I found on Facebook. Blanton Museum. Alright, Austin Woman, 2011, on the cover from The Heart, Lynn Meredith. Okay, so let's go back to Facebook, see if if anything on here lines up. She's not really giving much information about her. Their name's Lynn Mullen. Okay. So she's probably used to getting approached a lot. Okay, what do we got here? Timeline photos, cover photos. Let's look at the cover photos and see if there's anything. Alright, well, I'm going to assume this is her. I think this is the one who's the KUT advisory board person, so I'm going to send her a little email. I'm not going to add friend, I'm just going to message her. So I'm going to get that intro letter, look it over. So I'm going to go, hi Lynn. Creator and So I actually changed the letter to just say, who I am. I'm an established violinist. Composer in Austin. Creator of Woodtail Strings Attached. 25-year member of Austin Lyric. And I'm just trying to create some value, some expertise. I've been in the Austin scene for 25 years in the Austin Lyric Opera. Austin Opera, actually. So... and then, okay, so I changed that. I'm going to kind of change that letter, actually. Would you like to be a VIP guest at a really cool grassroots music series I'm presenting and producing for our South Austin Coast Strings and Grass? We've had folks like Carolyn Wonderland, Guy Forsyth. I put big names up first. Okay, so this is just a little letter to reach out to her. Hopefully she won't say it's spam. So I'm going to go send. I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet. Lynn Meredith. And on the status, I'm going to put the date, 17th of July. Sent intro letter. Okay? Now, let's say if I want to get some more VIPs in here besides the KET advisory board. Now, if you're working on this for me, I'd love for you to check over the list of advisory board members, cross-reference it with what I've got here, okay? And make sure that it's current. You want to check that once a year. So I'm going to also look for, what's another arts organization? Let's look for the advisory board for Ballet Austin and get them on it. Or how about just the Austin Lyric Opera? So I'll put Austin Lyric Opera Advisory Board. See what comes up. It's got to be board and staff right here. Awesome. So here are some nice VIPs, trustees, advisory trustees. I could go and just search for these people on Facebook or do some Google searching to find ways to contact them. But, like we want to start some kind of email relationship and lead to becoming Facebook friends, lead to being on our list. So, but this is an opera company, and they're not necessarily going to be interested in, coming to hear our music per se, but so they're kind of low priority. So I'm going to put in actually Austin City Limits Board of Directors. How about that? The television show. So I go here, and also staff. I might want to Board of Directors, KLRU, Austin Music Foundation. That might be one I want to go into to get people to come to, right? Board members. Here we go. So let's start looking up these guys. We got Brad Stein. So I'm going to go over to Facebook here. Brad, S-T-E-I. Looks like it might be this guy here. And I'm going to go under About and see if it has anything about the Austin Music Foundation. It's kind of hard to tell, but I've got a lot of mutual friends that are musicians, so it really is pretty sure that it's probably him. But let's look at some of his posts and see. Okay, this guy's he's kind of bald, right? So I'm going to go back to that. Yeah, that's the guy right there. You can see by the picture. Scott Garber is a friend of mine, by the way, so I know him. Okay, so I'm going to go back over and send him a little... I'm going to go ahead and add him because this is a music-related organization, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to mind me adding him. And then I'm also going to send him that message. I'm going to say, hey, Brad, reaching out to connect with you here. All right, cool. All right. Brad Stein is Austin Music Foundation. So I go back to my list. Brad Stein, Austin, putting on the organization. And over here, I'm going to go. I could just copy this sent intro letter. And that way, they can be followed up on later. So remember, the key is do this work within. You have to follow up. So we got Austin Music Foundation. So if you're doing this for me, I'm going to give you a couple of organizations I'd like you to finish. Finish going through the Austin Music Foundation Board of Directors and staff as well. Look at all these board of directors. This is awesome. Okay, so Austin. There's also a group called the Black Fret. Fret Austin. Let's go through that one. Let's go through the Austin Symphony Board of Directors. We could also go through the Austin City Limits, like I told you about, Board of Directors. Anything Austin music related. Okay, so that's a good start. Let me know when you get that done and send out those letters. It's in here, intro letter. Whoops, don't want to do that. Let's go back and copy that here. So in this case, I'm inviting them to the upcoming show with Gina Chavez. Alright, so I'm going to go back here, put that new edited letter. Alright, and just keep adding people to this, sending that letter, and we'll work more on following up in the next video, okay? Good job. Keep on trucking.